Why do I have three EPs already this year? Like, by the end of every year, I always struggle to have a list of five. And it's February, and there are already three great EPs. There's Patois, there's Raven Lene, and there's this. How, why, and how? Like, am I gonna have to make a top 50 EPs list? And then like a top 10 albums list? Like, am I gonna have to do that? I don't even know. Kero Kero Bonito burst onto the scene with Bonito Generation in 2016. A lot of people loved it. I also really liked it. The issue with the album though is that I have to be in a very specific mood to play it. Like I can't just put it on any time and enjoy it. Like there's a certain mood for me wanting very sugary pop music because generally I hate it. I generally hate that genre. But this was a specific album that somehow resonated with me and many other people. And I feel like when it came out, loads of people were like, "Oh yeah, I usually hate this kind of thing, but this album is something." It's like one of those things like, "Oh, I hate rap, but I like Eminem." Like it's one of those stupid things. Like this album is that in the pop form. But the thing with this album is that I could never really tell if the fan base were being ironic or they genuinely do love it. Like it's one of those albums that I can't tell if people are taking it serious. Like I feel like a lot of people when they talk about this album feel guilty for liking it, which is stupid. Because you should just like whatever you want, you know. But I think there are guilty pleasures in music. Like I do think they exist, and this album is like the definition of what a guilty pleasure is. And it's fun, it's accessible, it's playful, it's cute. It's really what pop music should sound like, but it is very sugary and it is very much a guilty pleasure for me anyway. And it's garnered a lot of hate. That album garnered a lot of hate. Like if you go on certain parts of like social media, like music groups, go on the patrician music posting on Facebook. Just type in patrician music posting. You'll find the group. It's got like 50 odd thousand followers, and they hate this album. Absolutely frigging detest it. Like seriously fucking detest this album. But this new EP is actually a change of direction for Kero Kero Bonito. It's not quite as sugary, it's not quite as poppy. It actually has some diversity in the instrumentation. TOTEP shows that Kero Kero Bonito actually have a lot of interesting ideas, not just making pop music, but they actually included guitars, and the incorporation of guitars actually works really well on this EP. It's a shame it's only 11 minutes long though, because I would like to see how far they could take this and turn it into a full-length album. One True Path actually has quite a rocking groove to it. There's a really good snare in this song, like it just really like like it comes through every like few seconds, but it sounds so good. Like you just don't think that they would be able to pull this off considering what they used to sound like, but actually it works so well. And obviously the vocalist has very cutesy vocals, still manages to meld in well with the instrumentation. It's really clever how they've managed to pull it off. The second track, Only Acting, which was like the single, which only came out like a week ago, but it's got very buzzing like guitar riff in this song. It feels more like shoegazy. Like again, this is like a different sound to the first track, but they've still managed to pull it off. But you can tell that this was a single though, because it has like a really good vocal melody. There is still that pop charm that was from their album on this track, but it's just when they get like the guitars and the instrumentation comes in, it feels like a shoegaze song. It's really cool, like a dream pop shoegaze track, which again I really like this style for them. You know how it is though, is like Only Acting but like version 2.0, because they like amp up that shoegaze sound completely and it turns into like a full on like a sunny day in Glasgow song. Like if you've never listened to them, listen to them, because you will see like how similar this track sounds to their music, because their album in 2014 I believe, a great album, completely forgot what it's called though. See When Absent is its name. It's a great album, and the vocalist of that band has quite like a cutesy voice, like a very pop sounding voice, and this track as well obviously has that same sound to it, because obviously Kero Kero Bonito have that entire pop influence in their music, and this is like such a straight up song that sounds like that. So if you like this, and go back to that album, because they were doing it quite a few years ago. Not that it's a rip-off or anything, I'm not saying that, but just, always respect the influences where something comes from, because I feel like there probably is some kind of influence on this track for them from the shoegaze genre. Because again, it's nothing like the pop stuff that they were doing before. It's nowhere near as like accessible. Even though I like the fired up instrumentation, I think it actually adds a good flair to their sound. So I hope that they continue this, because I feel like if they made another Bonito generation, it would definitely wear off. Like, that novelty would die out, because you can't just keep dropping albums that sound like that. I feel like Bonito Generation is like one of a kind, and if you try and replicate that again, it'll definitely get boring. Even the fans, I think, would be bored. Cinema is a great track that really should be longer, but it's a nice little closer to the EP. Again, wanted this to be longer. It's only 11 minutes. Want a full album of this, and hopefully they do something later in the year, maybe even next year. But I'm assuming later this year there'll be something bigger out. But who's to say? Who knows? But anyway, if you like this EP, let me know. I think it's pretty damn good. Like the direction they've taken, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews, interviews, podcasts, track reactions, all that kind of stuff related to music, and have a good day. Have a good day.